There is a man who walks alone. Not because he is unloved, not because he is lost, but because he chose a different sky to fly beneath. His steps echo with intention. His eyes burn, not with anger, not with ego, but with vision. He doesn't conform. He creates. He doesn't follow meaning. He generates it. This man is not a god. He is not a myth. He is you, after transformation. Friedrich Nietzsche called him the Übermensch, the overman, the higher man, the self-creator. Not a man of titles, but a man of depth. Not a man of comfort, but a man of conquest. Conquest over himself. The Übermensch is not born, he is forged. And if you listen long enough, reflect deeply enough, and challenge yourself honestly enough, you'll begin to sense it, the cracking of your old self, the shedding of skin, the awakening of something higher. This isn't motivation, it's metamorphosis. Every story of transformation begins with death. Not a physical death, but the collapse of old structures, old beliefs, old masters, old lies we were raised to obey. Nietzsche once wrote, "God is dead, and we have killed him." He wasn't celebrating atheism. He was mourning the death of imposed meaning, the collapse of certainty, the end of believing that something outside you is going to come save you. The modern mind still waits for approval, for signs, for validation. Still prays at the altar of popularity, status, or success. But the Übermensch? He watches it all burn and does not flinch. Because he knows, when the old gods die, you are left with only one thing: yourself. And for the first time in your life, you must become the source of meaning. You must become the creator of values. No savior is coming. No system will rescue you. The ordinary man trembles at that truth. The higher man smiles, because now the real work begins. Not the will to survive, not the will to please, not the will to fit in. The Übermensch operates with something deeper, the will to power. This is not domination over others. It's not brute strength or ruthless ambition. It's internal conquest, the ability to impose order on your own chaos, the strength to overcome your own pettiness, the fire to sculpt your own soul. Most people drift. They absorb identities. They inherit lifestyles. But the one who rises refuses this default. He doesn't ask what's allowed, he asks what's possible. You see it in every great builder. The artist who works in obscurity for years with no applause. The athlete who trains in silence while others sleep. The entrepreneur who bets everything not on luck, but on relentless vision. They all carry this invisible current, the will to power. They don't wait to be told. They tell themselves what they will become, and then they become it. The Übermensch does not arrive, he evolves. And the fuel of that evolution is self-overcoming. Every day is a battle against weakness, distraction, self-pity, addiction to comfort, hunger for validation. Most people lose because they never enter that battlefield. They decorate their cages, they name their excuses, they wear their limitations like armor. But the higher man strips himself bare. He looks at his own fear and walks through it. He hears his excuses and moves anyway. He feels the pull of laziness and says, "Not today." Nietzsche didn't believe in salvation through prayer or positive thinking. He believed in the hammer, the internal force that smashes what's fragile so something indestructible can rise. You don't become the Übermensch by reading books. You become him by wrestling with your own shadow, by confronting your darker nature, by choosing not comfort, but growth. And growth demands sacrifice of the old you, the smaller you, the one who flinched. Most people live by values they never chose. They say hard work is good, but only because they were told. They say family is everything, but never questioned if that applies to them. They say success is noble, but define it using someone else's measurements. But the Übermensch? He creates his own code, not out of rebellion, but out of sovereignty. He doesn't discard values, he builds them. From reflection, from experience, from pain. His values aren't convenient, they're earned. If society worships money, he asks what money truly buys. If culture shouts about fame, he asks whether being known is the same as being worthy. If the world obsesses over productivity, he asks, to what end? To become the higher version of yourself, you must step outside the map and draw a new one. You must define what success looks like, what love means, what honor feels like, and then live it. Not because the world told you to, but because your soul did. Nietzsche said, "One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star." The Übermensch is not a cold calculator. He is not a machine. He is a flame, passionate, poetic, and alive. He does not run from chaos. He dances with it. Where others crumble under uncertainty, he thrives. Where others drown in complexity, he breathes. Where others demand guarantees, he moves forward with courage. This is the highest version of the human spirit, not sterile perfection, but creative power. The Übermensch builds beauty from darkness, art from agony, wisdom from wounds. He laughs not because he's blind, but because he sees everything, and still chooses to rise. He is not invulnerable, but he is unstoppable. He does not float above life. He dives into it, fully. To become this version of yourself, you must make peace with chaos, not as enemy but as muse. The raw material of greatness lies not in control, but in how you respond. There is no school for this, no certification, no manual. The Übermensch path is pathless. It is walked with blood, silence, and fire. Not everyone will understand it. Most will mock it. Many will fear it. Because it threatens what's normal. It demolishes what's comfortable. It reminds people that they too could have chosen differently. But you heard something. Maybe faint, maybe distant, but real. A calling. To rise above the noise. To sculpt yourself into someone you were never told you could be. To live not as a reflection, but as a source. To think independently. To suffer nobly. To love powerfully. To walk alone, not in loneliness, but in leadership. That's the Übermensch. Not a fantasy, but a future, waiting for you to claim it. Claim.